And welcome back to Multifamily Foundation. So today it is Thanksgiving. And with that,
Happy Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving. That's right. But lots to be said about, honestly, just the giving and the words that we're using out there. And because it's not only how we're giving out to others, but how we're really giving to ourselves. And was that something would just listen to a lot of people around me. And I don't know if I was just more cognizant of the words or what, but I was just hearing the negativeness in people's words. And it wasn't that they were being attacking negative. They were just talking to a point where they mentally had set themselves to fail. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. But in reality, they could, but they've set themselves up with that hurdle that they can't.
They've made a choice. They've made a choice to choose the negative. They've made a choice to think that they can't ... When if they chose to think that they could, then they would.
But because they're saying it, they can't right now. So they can't because they've chosen to not be able to. So your journey is set up for you to find ways to figure out how can I do this? And this is large multifamily, right? So I want to start safe and go from a 1 to a 4 unit or a 4 unit to an 8 unit because I can't do a 100 unit yet. Well, why can't you? Why can't you do the next step? What is it? Is it you physically can't do it, or you're just telling yourself that story because you want to play it supposedly safe? When regards to there's not safety in what you're doing, it's just that you're ultimately telling yourself a story about what safety is in terms of giving yourself that warm, fuzzy feeling of just saying, I can't. And on the other point, it actually helps you to get away from, the possibility of failure, right? If I say I can't, then I ultimately just can't fail. But if you don't fail, you're never going to succeed.
And see, the thing is, if you're already saying you can't, you've already failed. You haven't set yourself up for failure. You haven't failed in the future. You've just failed right then and there. Once you say, I can't, you haven't given yourself the opportunity to succeed. So watch what you're saying. Watch your language. Watch your story, like Jason says.
Some of the greatest successes have come on faith and failing. And you're not going to get to that next step without taking that leap of faith. And it just comes down to that mental block, right? Doing things that you haven't done before. And we've all done things we haven't done before, but we've forgotten what that feels like. We've forgotten what that point of, I don't know how to walk, or I don't know how to ride a bike, or I don't know how to drive a car. All those fears that we've succumbency surpassed. We don't know how to do that anymore with our life, because the more we get accustomed to our habits, whether good or bad, the more we're set into our just our comfort zone, where we just want to say we can't because we don't want to break the mold, because it's easier to stay safe in potentially what we don't want than risk going after what we do want, because the fear of the unknown and the fear of the unknown, which could potentially lead to some failure, somehow is greater than just literally not liking where we're at. So what is it? Where do you want to go? You want to sit here and say you can't? All right. Well, you're listening to this podcast. So that's not you. That's not you. That's other people around you. But you're going to start setting your mindset by using the positive to your approach. It's not, I can't, it's how can I? It's not, I won't, it's how will I? It's let's do this. It's let's make it happen. It's not that, I'm not sure. I always found that one of the greatest ways was that people don't take responsibility for their actions. We used to run this large bar. It was crazy, but I had something that was paramount for anybody who came up to me and said, we should try this. I just said no. I said, you're welcome to try it. and if it works, we'll see if we can implement it on a full scale. But the we is a safety that nobody's going to do it, and it's ultimately going to be a failed project because we is that comfort zone because nobody wants to take true responsibility for their actions. So you want it, you want the great life, you want this point of finding your next step, your next calling. Well, you need to take the risk, and the risk is stepping outside of what is your norm, stepping outside of what your normal is, stepping outside of what you're doing today, and just thinking, okay, if this is who I'm going to become, well, what does that person talk like? What does that person act like? Who does that person, who is that person? Is that person me right now who's using these negative words? Is the person who's out there with 500 units or 200 million in assets, does that person use the I can't, I won't, I don't know how? Or is that person saying, I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to figure out how to do it. I'm going to figure out what needs to be done. I can, I will, and today is the day. That probably sounds like that person. But you need to make that choice.
Have a good one and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.